People keep asking me, why don't you make a film about classic cars? Well, the guys who own classic cars are all really, really, really boring. Aren't they?
So what's the actual history of the Racing T?
Well, it started off life in the Ford factory in 1926. It got shipped over to California, where it fell into the hands of a racer who started sort of changing it. And the guy that did most of the work was a chap called Vic Sala, who has been inducted into the Californian Model T Ford Hall of Fame because he raced. This is number 16 from his chain of races. And they were getting hotter and hotter as he built them. And this one gradually grew into having various what they call modern parts. The traditional Model T having an awful epicyclic gearbox with the weirdest foot pedals in the world. To race, he changed it to a 1937 Chevy 3-speed box with a turbo 400 clutch unit to make it drive like a real car. He shortened the frame to make it handle better, and remarkably put brakes on the back wheels because Model Ts only brake on the gearbox normally. But he put 1937 Ford brakes, which were then converted to hydraulic. So you can stop the back wheels going around beautifully. It doesn't necessarily stop the car going along, but the wheels don't go around because, as is traditional from Model T, it has no front brakes. But with the modifications that went into it, it is slightly better at performance than a standard T. So top end of a standard T is around about 40 mile an hour. This one tops out at about 90, 95, which without front brakes, you have to think about. Not too hard, let the passenger do all the thinking and the worrying. Of course, that's going to be you, so yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to that bit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you'll have safety gear, you'll have a nice soft leather flying helmet and goggles. You don't need anything else, I'm sure. The guy that was the mechanic that would ride in it at Indianapolis and some of the other circuits it ran on, they survived. Well, most of them did anyway. So yeah, you'll be fine. As a passenger, you don't just sit there enjoying the view. You have to work because the fuel tank doesn't have a mechanical or an electric pump. It has a pressure feed system. So your job is to keep an eye on the dashboard. There's a pressure gauge on there. When it drops down to below 2 pounds, you have to pump. So you have to keep the fuel pressure up in the tank or the engine will stop.
So I'm going to be earning my ride.
You definitely will be, yes. Yeah.
Look forward to it.
Yep.
Well, I guess we should go and take a look at the old girl.
Absolutely, yep.
Let's do it.
Grinding in for a better fit.
Because there's no synchro on this.
Yep, sort of.
Howdy-ho!
Because I am the local crazy, so.
Yeah, I guess everybody around here is fairly used to it.
We have another local crazy as well. I will point him out. He has a complete museum.
There's a certain familiarity to how this thing sounds.
Yeah. Can you stick your hand out, please? Thank you.
It's a sound you've heard in countless American movies. Only turned up to 11.
1930s gearbox, there's quite a gap between the ratios. So once you're in third, in top gear, you can do anything from about 20 to 90.
Jesus. So I imagine she's quite talky.
That was the secret of the Model T, the torque. Whoa, that's the mechanic's job. Got to keep the pumping going.
And of course back in their day,
Yeah.
these things were used on unpaved roads, on farm tracks. These are probably the original off-road vehicle.
Yeah, it was designed for oval tracks on brick, board and cinders, but it was also used in hill climbs. I'm not sure if the cinder tracks were smoother than English roads. We used to drive on the left, now we drive on what's left.
Isn't that the truth?
You can tell if you're having a good day in this car when you count the number of green fly in your teeth when you get home.
You need to fit a little toothpick holder to the dashboard.
Yeah, measured in smiles.
Oh, what a fantastic piece of kit. Not very highly sprung.
Oh yeah. Hand out please. Thank you.
This thing's a hell of an experience.
Well, when I first saw it in the States and I saw the smile on the guy's face when he was driving it, that sold it.
Oh, why wouldn't you?
It may not be the fastest car in the world, but it has that feeling.
You just can't help grinning, can you?
Absolutely.
It just puts a smile on the face of everyone who sees it.
Yeah, it does. Good turn right, please. Thank you. And even the traffic lights like us. There you go, that was pulling away in third gear. Need some more pumping? I think we're running out of gas actually.
Yeah, pushing it wouldn't be that much fun. So does she run on regular, or do you have to put an additive in there?
No, it runs on completely unleaded petrol. There was no lead in the petrol when Ford made these engines.
I can understand why you'd want us to be buried with you.
Uh-huh.
I can understand.
Oh yeah, it's way better than a pine box. Although my sons are both arguing about who's going to inherit.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a shared custody agreement when you go.
Interestingly enough, only one of them drives.
Well, that should make life a little easier, shouldn't it?
Ah. That's it, pump away, please, man. The lower the fuel level, the more you have to pump, unfortunately. We are running out of gas.
Yes, it's time for a pit stop then.
The one downside to this period of motoring is they didn't know anything about fuel economy. And this thing will get, if you're gentle, which I never am, about 15 to the gallon.
And when you're not gentle, nearer 10.
Yeah, yeah.
And how big's the tank?
The tank is around about 5 gallons. And I have to use the official Ford petrol gauge, which of course is a dipstick. Woohoo!
A very great man once said, growing old is mandatory, but growing up is optional. So face it, if you're gonna get old, do it disgracefully. Oh yeah.